My name is Lori Chu, and this is my comparative book review. The two books that I chose to compare were What Effective Schools Do by Lawrence Lizette and Kathleen McKee Snyder, and The Fifth Discipline by Peter Senge. When I looked at the authors, these are some of the things that I learned about them. Peter Senge is known for organizational learning. Lawrence Lizette is known for effective school research, while his co-author, Kathleen McKee Snyder, is known for community and organizational change. And when I got to thinking about even how the authors are related, one of my thoughts was this. There is some common ground even among the authors, in that both books address effective organizational frameworks. Both books give you a framework for how to become an effective organization. There are several big ideas in the fifth discipline. One is you need to define a learning organization before you can examine it. And so a learning organization defined is continually expanding the capacity to learn. It's really that simple. There's also a big idea of system thinking, looking at the whole rather than the parts of an organization. There's also an idea of personal mastery, or deepening personal knowledge and vision. And then there are the ideas of mental models. And the mental models will help you conceptualize where you're going. There's also the thought of a shared vision for the future, where people within the organization are learning because they want to learn rather than because they are required to learn. And finally, there's the idea of team learning, where both the team and individuals within the organization are growing together. When I looked at the big ideas of what effective schools do, there's, first of all, an expectation of success, high expectations of success, or belief that all students can grow and learn. There's also the big idea of strong instructional leadership, where even from the principal all the way down to the teacher, everyone is well informed with a focus on students and learning. There's a clear and focused mission where you know where you're going as a team. And then, of course, there's an opportunity to learn and time on task, where the time within the period or within the subject is protected. The instructional time is there for students to grow and learn. Of course, there's frequent monitoring of student success, and this is expected to be formative in nature. And there's a safe and orderly environment, both the physical environment and the emotional environment. And finally, there's a positive homeschool relationship where trust is a cornerstone. Why compare these books? Well, there is one common area that was very important to me, or that felt like part of the reason I chose these books. In the fifth discipline, there's a shared vision of the future. And in what effective schools do, there's a clear and focused mission. And both of these books focus on the mission and the vision. Without a mission and a vision, you don't know where you're going. And both of these books focus on the mission and vision, and that has to be established first. But I think the biggest reason I chose to compare these books are this: the cornerstone. The cornerstone of both of these books is a systems thinking, where you're not focused on thinking of any of the individual parts separately, but you're thinking of all of them correlated together. And you're thinking of the entire system, the school, all the way down to the bus driver, all the way up to the director. The entire system has to be considered when you're looking at both of these models. Why systems thinking then? Well, as Singy put it, systems thinking is a discipline for seeing wholes. It is a framework for seeing interrelationships rather than things, for seeing patterns of change rather than static snapshots. Lizette and Snyder put it like this: most schools approach school reform in a piecemeal fashion, without regard to the entire system, and only realize partial success. Systems thinking offers key benefits to schools seeking to become more effective, allowing them to take a comprehensive approach to improvement and address underlying causes of inadequate student achievement. And if we're getting down to business, if you're really thinking about how you would apply the fifth discipline to schools, isn't student achievement the goal of the entire process? Of course it is. There are several star moments. In the fifth discipline, personal mastery goes beyond competence and skills, though it is grounded in competence and skills. It goes beyond spiritual growth. It means approaching one's life as a creative work, living from a creative as opposed to a reactive point of view. Singy also says real vision cannot be understood in isolation from the idea of purpose. By purpose, I mean an individual's sense of why he or she is alive. And then, from what effective schools do, there's this. When the correlates are implemented across the school, their ability to add value to student learning is beyond what a single teacher can do working alone. And so there's the team aspect. And finally, schools that had higher levels of collective efficacy showed higher levels of achievement. Again, in higher levels of achievement, the ultimate goal, that's the reason we do what we do. I also had a personal reality check in all of this. This was one of the quotes that stood out to me as well. We are trained to be loyal to our jobs, so much so that we confuse them with our own identities. I believe that we are all called to improve the lives of other people. And so I think of it in the way that Will Smith put it. If you're not making someone else's life better, then you're wasting your time. Your life will become better by making other people's lives better. But then I'm left questioning myself at the same time. Was I born to teach? Have I confused teaching with my own identity? When somebody asks me, who are you? Am I defining myself as a teacher? And I think the balance in that comes here. I think teaching allows me to do this. Teaching allows me to make other people's lives better. And I think that's what it is all about. So that was my personal reality check in reading our book, The Fifth Discipline. These are my references. And thank you for watching.